Educational Studies at UNISA. He's joining us, of course, from our Pretoria studios this afternoon. Good afternoon, Prof. Happy New Year to you, and thank you for your time on the SABC News Desk.
Happy New Year to you too, and thank you for having me.
Prof, the IEB, as expected, the pass rate showing strong upward trajectory yet again. I just want to understand, why does the IEB trump the NSC pass rate? Is it just a question of resources only, or is it more about strong parent and community involvement in a child's education?
I think it's all factors involved. One cannot see one over the other. Parental involvement, resources, time allocated are all factors that play a major role. We also have to remember that with the IEB, the advantage that they have is a matter of the teacher-learner ratio as well. More time given and allocated to a particular learner. In our public schools, you'll find that in a class there will be 1 to 45, 1 to 50, 1 to 55. That also has an impact on the learner and the participation as such.
Prof, very quickly, every year during this part of the year, there's heightened focus, understandably, and attention on the release of the matriculation results and thereafter analysis and so on. But tell us why there should be more emphasis and more focus much earlier in the child's life, already 12 years ago, even at birth actually, when it comes to early childhood development, and why investment here pays off in the long term in a child's educational life.
You know, investment in education actually starts pre-pregnancy, as a matter of fact. And then when the child, of course, goes into an early childhood center, there are more benefits because of more time and more logic and more sequencing is taught to the child. Whereas you find that a child who missed out on this particular aspect of ECD, when he gets to school at the age of 7, always begins or starts at the back foot, simply because of no one was stimulating. There was no stimulation. There was no encouragement of logical thinking, of sequencing. So early childhood is very important. As I said, it actually starts with pre-pregnancy, where we have matters of the omega fats taken in by parents, folic acids, because all of those things, they help with the neuro development. So parents need to indicate, to know importantly that as they are going to have kids or children, they need to start early. Early childhood is quite an investment that needs to happen. There's a difference between an ECD center and a child minding center. So parents must not take their kids to a child minding center where kids go there and they just stay there the whole day doing absolutely nothing. There's someone who's minding them so that they don't get hurt, so that they don't get lost. However, ECD, there's programs there. There is proper logic programs of what's happening, teaching kids how to count, how to read from an early age. All of those come into an investment now that we're seeing in grade 12.
Prof, Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi has indicated that he wants all matriculants to write the same examinations at some point. He wants a single independent body to be established to set these exams for all our learners. Is this a viable option at this point? Because we still have different curriculums out there, some offering Cambridge O and A levels. How will we achieve a level of uniformity?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult at this point in time, simply because of, you mentioned something very important in terms of the resources. I've indicated the matter of the time, and with that time comes also the quality of the teachers that we have. So in the long run, one single examination can be planned for. However, it needs a systematic introduction into the system. It's not something that one can just simply put and push down the education system, unfortunately.
Very quickly, Prof, we are running out of time. We often see students not graduating on time when they are at the tertiary institutions, driving up their already strained financial costs even more. What kind of self-management skills or ability are needed to succeed at a tertiary institution right now? And more importantly, are these being developed at our school level?
Look, independent thinking and independent work is very important. It's very good to be able to work in a group. However, you need to be able to stand out and shine and be able to hold your own as an individual. So it's very important from now on that all our students choose the careers and the paths that they want, not because of the friends. They must not follow the crowd, not because of the parents, and not because of the demand of what is popular at this point in time. So independent thinking, parental support is very important as well.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you for sharing your insights with us on the SABC News Desk. That was UNISA's Professor Tabane joining us from our Pretoria studios. All right, it's time for some business news now. Senior Eskom executive Matsela Koko and Prish Govender have been cleared of misconduct. Koko was investigated in relation to his daughter's company benefiting from deals with Eskom. Govender was under the spotlight for his conduct in relation to controversial contracts concluded with McKinsey and Trillion.
Eskom has been in the news for all the wrong reasons in recent years, with a strong public focus on its apparent shortcomings in the area of corporate governance. The public hasn't taken kindly to the reinstatement of Matsela Koko and Prish Govender, but Eskom says the disciplinary process was transparent and fair, ultimately clearing the two executives.
Sometime in November, December, there was a very fair and transparent process that the management had undertaken, especially in relation to Mr. Matsela Koko, the issues around the declaration of interest, conflict of interest. So it was the allegation was that he did not declare that his daughter was doing business with Eskom. So there was an independent chairperson of the inquiry who ultimately, through the process, cleared him because of the evidence that they have from Mr. Koko.
Some may ask how Eskom can conclude the two men's innocence when Parliament is also busy with an inquiry into Eskom's affairs.
Remember, the Eskom inquiry started long before the parliamentary inquiry started. So because there were allegations circling around Mr. Koko and other individuals, management of Eskom, especially the board, had to do something. So they started their own inquiry. During that process, it's only then that we also heard that Parliament was also starting their own.
Govender has already resumed duties at Eskom as head of Group Capital, while Koko is set to resume his duties as head of Generation next Monday. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The International Transport Authority says the global airlines industry is set to